I was just driving along this narrow country road and look what I found. I found a fresh rabbit, so that means I think my food's sorted for today, because I can take some of this rabbit here, and I also bought some smoked haddock from the local fishmonger in Port Isaac, who just supplies mostly locally caught things. So I've got everything I really need. So I'm not going to take the whole rabbit because it's going to be a little tricky with the van. So I'm going to cut off the bits that I need the most. So maybe I'll skin the legs only, and then maybe skin across the loin here, and I'll leave the rest to nature. But I'm going to see if there's much meat on here. It's freshly killed, you can tell by the brightness in the eyes, and you can see the damage wound just here, so it must have been hit or something, but it doesn't look like it died of any disease or anything like that. So we're going to get cutting it up and harvest the meat. Wow, it's still warm. It's still warm, so that's a fresh kill. It's in rigor mortis, so it's not that old. But let's see. I'll skin it from the back, and then it'll be easy to get to the bits without gutting the rest. You can see what kind of state the rest of it is in, but yeah, so that's the part I want. So we'll probably just cut in here, and then we'll try and cut in down here. And basically we want to cut it off at the joint. Is that it? I think I can see the joint. Almost. There we go. We got that part off at the joint. And then I'm just going to I might just try and fillet it quickly so that I can take everything but the bone. Yeah, that might be the better bet, because then I don't have to worry about much once I'm in the van. I just got to wash it and cook it. So that's the bit that I really want. But you've got to take these opportunities when you're travelling and living on a wild diet. Every bit of good meat is a potential meal, and there you go. There is a bit of rabbit meat. So we're going to work down one side at a time so that you can get all the good bits off one side of the rabbit, and then we'll move on to the other side. I haven't got the sharpest knife, so I'm doing what I can with what I've got, which is usually always the way when you're not at home. You've got to use what you've got. Okay, let's have a look at this loin. Can I get into it? Somewhere around here. Can I get into there? Maybe. Let's see. want to take it without... Oh, there we go, it's coming right out. Nice. It's not the tidiest job. Not the tidiest job, but another bit of good meat. I don't think I'm going to bother with the shoulders and the legs. That's probably where the damage is, but also there's not much meat going up in that direction. So I'm going to leave that for the animals, and we're going to flip it over and see what we can get out of the other leg. Trying to make sure I keep fur off my fingers, because that will make life a lot easier when processing this other bit. Okay. Same again, we've just got to cut up and around here and then get in about here to the bone. Did I hit the bone? I think so. Just got to get in at the back there, in at the back there. I think I've skinned it all, yeah. Okay. Just got to get into there. Oh, I think I've just got to cut in there. This one's a bit messier. I can't find the joint. Oh, there it is. There it is. And we just got to cut that off before that. There we go. There we go. Got it. Let's see. That could work. Just trying to get all the good bits off the back. Being careful not to cut myself at the same time, because I am clumsy like that sometimes. There we go. And then snip. Cool. And that is another bit of meat. Yummy. Nice fresh rabbit. It's going to be a bit hairy, but I don't think I'll be able to get all the hairs off. But the way I'm going to cook it, I don't know, I might just fry it till it gets crispy, like cut it nice and thin, fry till it gets crispy, and then use it as a snack during the day. And lastly, the final loin. Let's have a look. Sorry if I keep sniffing. I've been around too much pollution lately, and it's just been getting to me. Anyway, here we go. Let's just cut into the back and try and get as much of the good stuff as I can. Yeah, it should pull right out from under the tendon. There it is. Can I get any more? Yeah, there it is. There it is. And I could probably get more meat off of this if I took longer time, but I'm parked in front of two farmers' gates and I'm working against time because it's a hot day and you don't want this meat to go off as well. So I'm getting what bits that I can do. This is going to be really nice and tender, and then we're just going to leave the rest. Simply don't have the utensils and stuff in the van to process this properly, so there we go. I've taken the meat off the rear legs, I've taken the meat off the loins, and the rest can be left for the animals. What I'm going to try and do anyway is to fry up these strips of rabbit as a snack. So we're just going to keep the strips thin, and I'm just using salt and fat, and the plan is that these will crisp up nicely on the outside, and I can, gosh, they're so sticky, and I can use them as a snack throughout the day. As you've seen in a previous video, I harvested the heart and the liver and everything out of a rabbit, but that one I'd freshly shot and I knew where it came from, I knew its definite cause of death, etc. So that one was kind of safe to do that with. But here I only wanted the muscle meat because I don't know the true health of that rabbit. I'm assuming it was a roadkill, but you can never be sure when you find an animal already dead. But the meat is going to be edible regardless with a bit of cooking. I'm just going to turn over the ones that I put in at first. Seems to be okay. Look, they're getting a bit crispy, so I'm hoping that that will be really nice that way. That one's not done yet. That's the other ones that I did earlier. There it is, there's one. So I'm hoping that this is just going to be a nice protein kick with some salt and some fat. Should be a really nice meal, I hope. I hope it's not going to be too chewy, but we shall find out. Now with roadkill you do have to be a little bit careful because you don't know how long it's actually been out there if you don't know what you're looking for. There's certain signs that can tell you exactly how old that animal is, especially the eyes. The eyes are the first thing to normally go, and also rigor mortis. If it's stiff, then it's not that long killed. And then once you, of course, you open it up, you can see all the what the state of the meat is, etc. But fundamentally, with deer, you don't want to leave them too long, because once they bloat, that's when you have to really be worried about. This is the finished thing. Looks really, really, really good. So once it's cooled down, I'll give it a try and see if I want to do the rest like that for the loin. Here goes the taste test. Amazing, they came out really good. And that's actually really tender, and it tastes exactly the way that I've done this. That tastes exactly like chicken, and you know what? I have not eaten KFC since I was a teen, and this tastes just like Kentucky Fried Rabbit. It's just the perfect ingredients, isn't it? Just fat and salt. It just seems to make everything taste better, and this is just absolutely delicious. The ones that weren't oh my word, the ones that didn't crisp right up, they're so tender inside, so tender. That really does taste just like chicken. Wow, so maybe the young rabbits are the ones that you really need to get this amazing Amazing flavour, amazing taste. And who said that game meat is not very nice? This is absolutely delicious, and wow, I'm going to enjoy this. So this is my dinner finished for this evening. I've got some of that wild haddock from Port Isaac caught right off the bay, and the Babington leek flower heads, and also I did indeed in the end stir some sea beet into the juices, so that's going to be an absolutely delicious supper. So I ended up parking in some woods tonight. I just wanted to get away from the ocean and all the busyness from all the tourists, because my eyes completely went, I don't think you can see it now, but they completely went earlier with all the particulate in the air from the exhaust fumes from the farmers' fields. So even in Cornwall there is some air pollution, and I just spent so much time outside. It was last night that I really suffered because I was too lazy. I was too lazy to go and drive all the way to a really quiet wood that I found in a church car park, which was really, really nice and quiet. And that was right next to the A39 and the busy road going into Wadebridge. And I woke up with asthma-like symptoms in the morning, so that's how bad it gets for me in the summer. The pollution from everything just really, really affects me. So I've thought I'd come here for today, get away from everything. We're surrounded by trees, no farmland, no traffic, and there is actually wild garlic in this wood as well, so I found another local wild garlic spot that I can utilise, and I might spend the day here tomorrow, or spend a good chunk of the day here and see how that goes. But I did get up very early this morning. I got up at 5 AM and then drove off to Port Isaac to try and do some fishing off of Port Gavin, and I didn't quite catch anything, unfortunately. I've been doing more research on where to fish, how to fish, and I think I'm going to try and hit the estuaries more and find some good places to fish in those locations. But for now, I'm just going to have my dinner and relax for the evening. It's a very early morning. I ended up waking up at 4 AM, so I'm starting to get into that routine. I went to bed about 9:30 and my body just naturally woke up before sunrise. So I came up here to have a little fish and see what happens. We were at high tide, so I just put some bait out for now because I wasn't having any luck spinning. And the seagulls are all somewhere else, so I don't know where they're. I was trying to keep an eye out for the seagulls because that's usually where all the bait fish are, and that's where the other fish will be, but the seagulls have moved on. They're all the way over in that direction, and I don't think I can get over there over the cliffs, so I might take the spinner over there eventually when the tide starts to go out and move again. But I'm just going to sit here for a bit. I had some leftover haddock from dinner last night, so I'm just trying that on the bait to see if we catch anything on that. I decided to step away from Port Isaac, etc., because there's so much farmland up there, and the way the winds were blowing, they sprayed slurry and everything, and I don't know what it was, but something was really getting to me the past couple of days, and I think it's the ammonia and the slurry, or a combination of all the different pollutants coming together. Definitely not the pollen, because I was fine until the slurry and the ozone coming close to the ground in the mornings. So I'm sure there was something else factored in there. So I came down to the south coast instead, onto the Lizard, because it steps right out, and the way the wind's blowing, I should be okay. And look at my new toy. It's a really, really, really tiny spinning rod. Big thank you to the folks at I think it was Lizard Bait and Tackle. they helped me decide on a spinning rod to buy, because there's only so much I can do with my particular rod that I did have, and it was having trouble with certain lures that I had. And as I'm going to be doing lure fishing for most of the time, then this is the better rod to have. And the other great part about this rod is that it's a 4-piece, so it will actually fold right down and clip into the bracket where my original telescopic rod used to go. So it packs up real nice, especially if I decide to do like a bicycle travelling trip or something. It'll carry with me, no problem. So I thought I would come down to check out Mullion Harbour, and I don't know if it's going to be deep enough over there actually. It's just thought I'd come and see what it was like at the harbour wall. And beautiful little cove, and I thought I'd use this opportunity to test this rod out. Now there is a beach cove just round the corner that I could drive to if this happens to not be the best spot to fish from, but it's actually busier than I thought it might be. It's a really tucked away tiny place. Now the other great thing is that with a spinner I can condense everything that I've been carrying into this little box, which I can carry in my backpack, so I'll be able to do longer walks, treks, and find other places that would have been a bit harder to carry all my gear before. So this is perfect.